Stefano, and welcome to Big Hairy News or Bright Hairy News.
Kia ora, fam.
Chaos version today. How you going, Rogers?
Naked. Been one of those
Naked?
weeks.
Long week.
There's lots going on. Yeah, probably more going on next week, but keep myself busy. Lots of research.
Yes,
kind of stuff.
yes. I know you've been working on some stuff on the side.
I know I have been.
Yes. Very nice. I hope everyone's having a good Friday night. For those
How was your week, Magenta?
Oh, my week. It's not been too bad, a lot of life admin. I'm not really loving the weather at the moment, but I'm also thankful that our weather hasn't been anywhere near as bad as some people's. So, I'm just a bit cold and a bit chilly in this damp Wellington flat. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yes, it's not the best. So yeah, kia ora everyone. And for anyone who might have forgotten, Ems is away, not just this week, but also next week because she's off getting married and having fun and all that. And we're gonna hope that she doesn't have any of this bad weather affecting her for her big day. Also, thank you, Kiwi Skirt. I see you noticed that I redid my roots. Yes, guys, don't worry. I got rid of those horrible, ugly roots.
I knew something was different.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah. I was like, something's different. Did you
Something's
change it?
off.
Yeah,
got rid of a whole color up here. But yes. I also am loving the headscarf today. Love the little baby pink
this
purple.
bandana.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's like multicolor. It's like tie dye. This one.
Love it. I'm a sucker for tie dye.
This one's my favorite.
I mean,
maybe the rainbow.
I mean, rainbow's always going to be my favorite by default, but if we're not going for that, I mean, it's at least giving like bisexual flag energy, trans flag energy,
Hell yeah. Also, I got this scarf on too, which is like, I won't pretend I know what it is. I just know it's from India.
Oh, it looks like it's got quite a nice soft texture to it. I think no.
Nah, not really.
All right. So kia ora everyone. Hope you're all keeping dry at the moment. I guess we better do the old spiel, the glockenspiel as they call it. Yes. So obviously we want to say wrong one. I went to the wrong one first. Stop that one. Not that one. Because we gotta go. Oh, it's because I didn't open it. So we'll go to this one first. Very professional. Very professional. So yes, if you want to get some merch, well, not quite this one, although I believe this one should be coming back hopefully soon. All my other merch with all the other things on it is currently in the washing machine, because getting my washing done at the moment is a fucking nightmare. I'm sure you can all relate to that one. But yes, at bhnshop.nz, we've still got the classics, the Nikki No Boats, the Chewie Foo Foo, the Pat and Chewie, which I love personally.
I like the Chewie Foo Foo.
I mean, Chewie Foo Foo is classic. I really love the orange. I would so rock the orange.
Is it actually that bright?
Oh yeah, no, it's quite bright. I've seen them in person, and it is very, very bright orange.
It's like the same color as like the Electoral Commission or something.
Yes, the orange man from the New Zealand elections. We've got Tino Rangatiratanga.
Way better than the Pack and Save Stick Man. Who would win? The Pack and Save Stick Man or the Orange Man from
Wow, from okay, now you're really going to be starting some heated debates, surely, in the comments. But yes, we've got all of those awesome things there.
Oh wait, we had fuck around shirts.
Yeah, the fuck around, find out, man.
I need to get one of those.
Yes, Jesus. Go get one. They've got stickers and stuff too, so make sure you should get some stickers and definitely not put them around the center of Auckland. Definitely
do not do that, please. Buy the stickers.
I'm not telling you to go sticker. I'm not telling you to go sticker, I mean.
Yeah. And I'm not telling anyone else to do it either.
Right.
No
But
one
as
do that.
always, a big thank you to our patrons. Currently got 455 patrons, which is amazing and just shocks me every time I realize how many people actually, you know, put in to help keep this thing going. And obviously, if you sign up to Patreon, you can get access to these interviews early. You also get behind the scenes content. And it is only as little as $5 a month, all the way up to 250 if you're an absolute baller like that. But honestly, a little bit for a long time is a lot better than a lot of bit for one time. So thank you all the patrons for that. And yeah.
I think I agree with that.
did I
Say
break your
it again. Yeah, no, I think you broke my brain a second. End of
little
work week.
bit for a long time is
Uh-huh.
better than a lot of bit for one time.
Yes. We might need a
Yes.
diagram.
My great English has broken the detective's brain on a Friday night, so I'm winning. But yes, I guess we better go and jump into some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. So as I'm sure a lot of you have been experiencing, the weather has not been great at the moment. It's been quite horrible. And so I thought we'd just start with a little bit of footage from tonight's One News about this.
According to Met Service, some parts of the region near Taranaki Maunga experienced 280 millimetres of rain. Due to multiple slips, State Highway 43 is closed between Stratford and Taumarunui. State Highway 3 is closed between Oha Street and Papakauri. And part of State Highway 4 is also shut. More rains forecast for the region over the next 48 hours. The record-breaking floods in the Nelson Tasman region are expected to leave a lasting mark on the landscape as experts assess the impact on the area's waterways. While a handful of homes in the region have been yellow stickered, the council says it's open to advice from locals on how best to manage its rivers in the future. Jessica Roden has more.
This was the Motueka River last week
Whoa.
at its level
Yeah.
in a century. Its course
And highest level in a century. Like,
Oh, I'm sure nothing we've done has impacted that.
no. It's definitely nothing to do with what is that? What's that thing? That climate change? That is it change? Climate conspiracy,
I don't know what
I guess. But yes, let's
adapted to cope with the huge amount of water flowing through.
When that happens, the water finds a way. So they flexed out of the corridors that they've been, relegated to for the past 40 or 50 years, and demonstrated why a floodplain is a floodplain.
The flood causing many Tasman rivers to find new paths.
Usually, one river doing this, fine, but all of our rivers have been doing it, and that's what makes it so unusual, just the scale of the event.
This was Dion McGaviston's farm during the storm, and for the last week the river has continued to run through his property.
It's hard to see how we can push that back now, yeah.
Is it likely that we've lost some farmland, for example, to the rivers now?
I would say very likely, yes. I think when we come back to build, there will be a balance between reclaiming and letting the river kind of breathe a little bit.
River experts have been flown in from around the country to assess the situation. The first priority is
Don't tell me anymore that taking climate action is not a positive thing for farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, exactly. And I think actually we're going to hear from a farmer very soon, kind of in adding to this.
Pouring up infrastructure like bridges in the event of more bad weather. But many locals are critical of how the council has managed the rivers.
We've talked to the council and we've offered to give them 5.5 hectares back to the council to belong to the river, to widen the river. And I think if that was done earlier, the river would have stayed in the river.
So, I mean, right there, they were actually willing to, I guess, sacrifice, give some of that to avoid this, but unfortunately, a little bit too late.
Yep.
I think they're definitely going to lose some regardless whether they had given it or not. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be affecting farmers whom this government do like to say that they care about and prioritize, and they do in some regards, but
I'm
this
sure they've
is
set aside funds in their budget for some kind of occasion like this, right?
well, that's the thing, is a lot of their thing is less about climate, like helping stop climate change, and more about adapting to climate change. That's what a lot of those people like to kind of focus more heavily on. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a certain level of adapting that we are unfortunately going to have to do, but you don't choose that first. You kind of try to prevent as well as, leave room for adapting.
Yeah, it seems like every few years, some rich tech company or some independent who's just trying to make a name for themselves releases some kind of concept like the housing of the future. Has this person found the solution to climate change? One they did a couple of years back was literally basically people living on like a suspended pole, like a little roundhouse that was just suspended in the water. And it was just like, okay, but you're not really accounting for infrastructure or even deterioration of the building. The person had clearly not really put that much thought in beyond how would a house stand in water. That was sort of their solution.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think that's most of this segment. I'll just see if it's fine. But we've got some actual other pictures we could look at too.
The impact of it's far worse than what it would have been had the gravel been removed from the river over the last 20 or 30 years.
I'm relatively new to this position in the past year, and I know that there's been issues in the past, so I'm open to any suggestions, and that knowledge of the people who've lived along the river is very important.
Which I love their last little bit at the end there, going like, I'm sorry guys, like I'm new to the job, please don't blame me, it's not my fault. But also I noticed there that he was like, I would really value feedback from those who live in the area and know the land well, which that sounds a little bit like what iwis would do, doesn't it?
It does.
That sounds a little woke to me, but yeah, I mean,
getting advice, no, that's not a wise thing to do. You don't want other people's opinions.
Exactly.
You just say what you think, and it becomes correct.
And I mean, the worst part is that, like, as that old guy said, had these things been done over the last 20 to 30 years, which is literally my entire life, so they've had. And I know they knew about climate change before I was even born.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It definitely shows, unfortunately, where we have just been. There's a level of fucked that we're at.
It was a debate going
back.
on for decades until sometime, I think, all due to counter information campaigns with scientific studies funded mainly by the oil and gas industry. A lot of this goes back into my Atlas research stuff that I discovered at the time, and there was some, I'm forgetting the name, there was a famous case back in the late 80s, I believe, where essentially they had to admit, like, yep, we know about climate change, and it is legit. It's undeniable at this point, basically.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I know that we've also had, there's been a lot of issues. I remember there being a whole issue with BP as well, because of the fact that they just kept spilling oil into the ocean. Because, yeah, fuck the ocean. There's been a number of things that have been happening for so long, and it's just so frustrating to see that, these are everyday people who are living the consequences of, decades worth of prioritizing. I think it's unfortunately down to a lot of those counter campaigns. We are very aware that there have been a lot of money put into those dis and misinformation. I know, what was it, iwi versus kiwi was one of the ones I remember from back in when I was younger, and
the
just
early 2000s. That was like a Don Brash thing, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, fucking Don Brash. But yeah, and there's just been so many things, like there's been just thing after thing where it's like, even just the Three Waters stuff, I don't know if people haven't watched Paul the other one's video. I have actually reached out to Paul. I'm hoping to hear back from him and maybe getting him on the show next week so that we could go through and watch a bit of his content, because he's done some amazing work looking at basically how all of these things that we've been talking about, kind of with the Atlas stuff, and just really looking at how much they have just infiltrated, even our smallest of towns. And yeah, so if you haven't gone and seen it, it's called Fabricated Consent, AstroTurfs Go Local. We'll hopefully look at some of that next week as well. But I also saw that he's got another video coming out soon that I'm very excited for us to look at. It's about voting in local elections.
Ooh.
So, yes. But yeah, I mean, it's really sad to see that there's, going to be a lot of work that's going to have to be put in over the next, weeks, months, however long, because it only takes a few days of really bad weather to create months, if not years worth of damage and effects. Like, some of the photos that have just been coming out are just insane. How I think, oh, that's one of the ones I saw. It was like an entire car was pretty much submerged, and in Nelson, Tasman, and Marlborough, they're now in a state of emergency for the next 7 days, as they obviously have to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to get on that specific article, but I think I saw Taranaki highways were closed down.
Yes.
Are they around?
Yes,
and who knows when they're going to reopen? So those guys might be, on limited access for quite some time.
Oh yeah, and
a few days.
I'm sure. Somehow have I lost it? Got too many. There's so many stories about the weather already. Where are we?
I don't know. How's it been where you are?
Honestly, it's not been too bad. I'm obviously quite central in Wellington, so but I'm also up kind of hill area, so we don't tend to have any issues around here because, well, at least where I am, because stuff kind of just flows away, thankfully. Whereas obviously different parts of Wellington can be affected completely differently. Like you can just go, maybe a few blocks over from mine and it can be a completely different situation, especially because unfortunately due to the issues with the water pipes that we have here, those often tend to start overflowing and kind of adding to the issues around here in the center of Wellington. But yeah, this is so I mean I won't play the video with sound, but oh no, that's not the one I thought it was. They're just talking to some guy about it. But yeah, so Nelson, Tasman, Marlborough in a state of emergency for the next 7 days. We've got Rocks Road / State Highway 6 through Nelson is closed. State Highway 3 at Awakino Gorge was closed overnight. State Highway 4 is closed between Whanganui and Raitahi. And yeah, that's what it looks like so far for the roads. Obviously, that's going to affect a lot of people. I've also got another article because it also, obviously, in times like this, infrastructure for communications is quite important, but unfortunately has been a bit of an issue by the looks. So this is the other thing that I found that was quite interesting while I was looking into it, is that it looks like there was issues with mobile and internet coverage that was lost in the Golden Bay for most of the day on Thursday. Now, I have seen that there was another article, and I believe Mark Mitchell said it in one of his updates that I was watching, is that at first they believed it was this, but apparently it was actually rodents.
Mm-hmm.
However, that doesn't really change the kind of like follow on from this, is in that there needs to be more money put into kind of making the system safer, because obviously they were talking about the fact that it is quite common for rodents to
Or
end up nesting near there, but
putting in redundancies as well is another option. So if one goes down, at least you've still got another one going. I'm getting deja vu. This actually happened like a couple of months back.
Oh, right.
Yeah, with like a lot, well, not most, but like a lot of the South Island got cut off. And it was pretty much the same thing, I believe, where it was like rodents had bitten through the cable. So this is probably gonna keep happening.
And no, you're right though, because I was also in some of the millions of different articles that I was seeing. I found an article from earlier on in the year talking about how One New Zealand had been looking at different options in terms of trying to put more money into basically working around the fact that rodents are gonna probably end up making their way in there. So it's definitely something that they have been aware of. So it's not like this is a surprise to anyone. However, I guess with all of the weather that's been going on and how it's I guess timed itself, I guess, has kind of just added to the kind of call to be like, hey, this is quite important. I know I also saw was what's his face? Oh, Big Herald News guy. Ryan, that's his fucking name. I saw him talking.
Ryan.
Yeah. Now he's doing Big Herald News, but I saw him talking to Mark Mitchell as well, and posing the question of like, are we going to get the ability to text, emergency services? Because this is something that exists in other countries and has for quite some time. So,
and it's beneficial in multiple situations. Like there's plenty of situations where it might be to your detriment to actually talk on the phone, where it's better to just quietly text. Like you might be in the middle of a robbery and be like, okay, let's just text the address rather than getting the phone out going, hey, we're being robbed. I'm just being quiet. I don't want to be here because the guy might shoot me in the face. It's probably
exactly.
not.
And it would make sense, like not everyone's going to have access to a landline phone to call like I don't even know a lot of people who even have a copper line still in for their phones, which is actually something that I was very annoyed when I moved into this house that I'm in, and I went to go get a landline again because I wanted to be able to call my grandmother. They only gave me the option of getting a home phone through my aunt and my modem.
VoIP now. So they're getting rid of standard copper. Pretty much, they're phasing it out. I know this because I was working independent IT like 5 years ago, and this is all a big thing that I had to account for. A lot of clients, I had to switch them over to VoIP, which stands for Voice over IP. And now that's pretty much a standard thing when you signed up for any like skinny plan or Spark plan. They'll give you a phone number that you can use, and you got to get all that hooked up and stuff. I
hate it. It's funny because I actually still have the copper wire like still existed in my house at the time, and I was like, I did like the fact that at least having a copper line and access to it, it's that little bit of comfort in knowing that there's at least some way of being able to get help when the internet goes down, because the internet goes down all the fucking time.
According to Cyber Goblin, this might have been happening 15 years back. This might have started happening, but I was
it's been happening for quite some
so
time.
I have no clue. I was not in any industry at the time.
Yeah,
but it's even more of a reason why we need more redundant lines. The entire South Island get cut off just by a cable going down, being chewed through by some rodents.
Well, because like the copper wire isn't also just important for like being able to ring. the alert system that old people get. My brain's just forgotten the name of it. Medic alert. That's what it's called. Because my grandma had one. You know, those go through the copper line. So, you know, it might be good to keep that from getting damaged, so that, you know, people who need it for literal, like, life or death medical situations actually have access to that.
There are solutions for you guys, though. You can go get a 4G, 5G router if you want. Get a phone plan that's handy in a backup situation when things go down. Obviously not when the power goes out, but unless you have a backup, you know, what are they called? UPS.
Oh, who's got a backup generator or anything like that?
Not a generator, like it's like a lead acid battery that you plug all your stuff into. It's called a UPS. And I have things like my server stuck in there, so in case the power goes, well, I actually don't right now because the battery ran out, so I had to get a replacement. Well,
right.
Yeah. Well,
Which I'm sure every
like
New Zealander has this UPS thing that
no, they don't.
totally
But I'm just
heard
saying
about.
it's an option if it
Yeah.
is a situation where you can't afford things to go down. There are solutions. I'm just saying.
Stuff that could be put into the emergency kits, I guess.
Exactly, the emergency kit.
Hey.
We got our 4G router in the emergency kit.
Right? You know, your cans of food.
I need my
your
YouTube.
Paper.
Big Hairy News starts in 5 minutes. How am I going to watch it?
How are we going to survive through all of this flooding if we don't get to watch BHN? But yeah, and so it's definitely, I'm hoping that they'll actually work on making some kind of redundancies and backup systems, because, like, we've just seen year after year after year these climate events. They're not stopping. You know, we had the flooding in Te Tairāwhiti that was just absolutely, you know, wiped so much out, and like there was like an entire urupa that had just had a bunch of their, you know, whānau like washed away. And like there's been a lot of, you know, studies and research looking about like what can we do, because a lot of marae are coastal. You know, how do you kind of allow the people of an area to move away a little bit from that area if that's getting flooded out? You know, there's a lot of things that need to be considered and all of that. And yeah, we're just seeing it, and it's not going to get better. It's just going to keep happening, and I just hope that they'll start to build these in sooner rather than fucking later.
Yeah, and have we had a big flood since the whole slash issue was a thing, and they apparently did something about it? I don't know. We probably know
I mean,
a couple of days, but
when was that? Because I mean, I feel like that's constantly been something that I've been aware of. I feel like there's one almost every 6 months at this point. It feels, in terms of just having massive floodings, people's, you know. And like they said with the rivers, it's not so bad if it's one or two, but when they're all doing this, and we're just seeing more and more of and like we had things like Three Waters would have been able to help a situation like this. But no, we had to have...
Should have entrenched.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we you know, people got weirdly racist about water infrastructure, and now this is just a problem that we're going to have to continue to live with.
If Jacinda had continued and entrenched that, because I'm pretty sure she was planning to entrench that, and she backed down after it was like reported in the media, then that they wouldn't have had the numbers to repeal that. It'd still be in, and it'd have Three Waters.
Oh man.
Sorry, Jacinda fans, I got a shit on her.
Hey, I mean, even she has said, you know, she's not perfect. No human can be perfect.
What? No, that's the job prescription.
Yeah.
You gotta be perfect.
Oh, right. Fake it till you make it, I guess.
Yeah. We have a Luxon swear, right? I want to see what perfection's like.
To be fair, I just really hope that someone sends a copy of her book down to Christopher Luxon. That's for freaking sure. But yeah, I think we're about due to go into some super chats and some memes. So we got a kiwi bread for $2. Don't worry, the free market will fix it.
Of course.
True. Wait, wouldn't it have fixed it by now already? No.
I mean, is it legal for someone to go out and like with a boat and start charging people to rescue them?
Oh,
I don't know.
Dick, don't give them an idea. Don't give them ideas. They'll start privatizing the civil defense system.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We can do it better and for a profit.
Oh, shush. You're going to give them ideas.
I'm sorry.
We got Kaimatara for $2. Groundswell versus river swell. Nature wins every time. Oh, God. The layers of irony in that too. Oh, I hate it. We got the danger of mouse for $2. Thank you. Rodents, you mean National Act? Unfortunately, no, not this time.
Clearly an NZ First fan.
We got Kaimatara again for $2. Take care, Papa. You can't spell climate without mate. Oh, that's cute. I like that.
That's
you know
good.
what? I feel like this kind of idea should be some campaigning slogan / merch because yeah, hold on. I'm just screenshotting that one. Cool.
You gotta remember that.
Yeah, no, I'll just screenshot it for myself for later. And
it
we
could
got
be a t-shirt.
Vander Armour for $5 saying late fee. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us, even though you're late.
That's
I hope
true.
you got here safe.
Be on time next time.
This one's actually not a meme. This is just so one of the BHN Discord members, he sent this in going, I didn't know Bomber was in music videos. And I just thought that was fun and silly. And this is legitimately, I was scrolling through Facebook, and this is from Te Whatu Ora or Health New Zealand. It's wet out there. However, conditions aren't always as wet as we'd like them to be. So here's your reminder to use a water-based lube to reduce the chance of injury or a condom ripping. Slip, slop, and rip. Hashtag wetter is better. Hashtag rain check. And honestly, I'm living for whoever made this, like whoever was working behind the social media team for this. Just, I love it. 10 out of 10.
I don't know, because if you're having sex in the rain, that water-based lube's just gonna wash off. So you're gonna have to keep reapplying. So I'm not necessarily sure about that advice. If you're having sex in the rain,
yeah. So if you're not,
use Vaseline.
Yeah. This one tickled me. You wouldn't be arresting me if I was a polar bear. For the audio listeners, it's brown bear. You don't live in a capitalist society. You live in a corporatist society. Look it up if you don't know, which would account for most of what's being discussed here. You don't have cancer. You have stage 4 cancer. That's the kind of energy those people give. Kyle Rittenhouse quits the internet and vanishes into thin air. Bullying works. And I just love the little Curtis Connor in the corner there. Hi, I'm Choppy. I'm the Revolution Assistant, and my job is to help you purge oligarchs and their enablers. Do you need assistance? Yes. Choppy, we do.
Yes, we do. We really do.
Right. Diddy's found not guilty. Millions lose healthcare. ICE kidnaps without consequence. Corpses give birth. And y'all still expect me to celebrate America this weekend? Nah.
Wait, so was Diddy actually found not guilty? I've heard mixed.
He was found not guilty on some charges, but not guilty on like a couple of weak ones. It's still bullshit.
Okay.
He's basically he'd been found not guilty enough.
Did you see, by the way, the Republicans in the House chanting "USA, USA, USA"?
No.
Yeah, they did that. They did that because they They passed Trump's bill and they started chanting like.
Oh, the
fucking-
BBB. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
they started chanting like frat boys. So
Of course they fucking did. The whole fucking team of them are frat boys.
pretty much.
I liked this one though. We don't discriminate on this page. Bigots of all flavors get yeeted. That makes you just as bad as the bigots. Instead, you should engage them in rational debate. And so do their centrist apologists. And yep, sometimes people clearly are not there for a discussion. They just want to argue with you. Zoran Mamdani traps Fox News by adopting popular policies that billionaires hate. Progressives and socialists are tricking big media into doing their advertising. I mean, sign me up.
Also, promise to free Luigi.
Is that actually a campaign promise or like?
I mean, it should be.
I don't know. It's 2025. I don't know what's a joke anymore. Okay, that could have been a real thing. I don't know. Then we've got how's your year going? Buy a car, pit, save 10, buy a new phone case, live, mind my own business. It really do be like that, living in this economy.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of
Like,
living in this economy,
I thought COVID felt like the world was standing still, but fuck me, it's the last 6 months have just they've been shit.
I'm loving the new McDonald's Axis Powers menu. You've got Japan, Italy, and Germany. It took many years to develop birth control for men, but after a long wait, the Cybertruck has finally arrived and fixed all of that. Oh, Chewie posted this one in the Discord, guys. We got guillotines, the rich, taxes. Exactly. They think taxes are the enemy. They should be watching their backs. In Minecraft, of course. And we'll do this with the last one. Things to say that will always start a fight. Everybody deserves food and shelter before anybody deserves rental properties or yachts. Fight me. All right. Now that we've gotten through some memes to kind of lighten the mood and then get us back into our next story. So I'm sure we all, unfortunately, that's where it was. Wrong spot. We all probably remember the fact that New World Victoria Park ended up being on fire. And unfortunately, that fire completely destroyed it. And now, even more unfortunately, it looks like workers at New World Victoria Park are facing redundancy. So dozens of supermarket workers could be facing redundancy after a fire destroyed the New World Victoria Park in central Auckland. The massive blaze 2 weeks ago took more than 10 hours to put out and left the building badly damaged with a collapsed ceiling. The New World employs more than 180 people. And the supermarket has so far continued to pay the staff, but Workers' First Union, which represents about 40 of the workers, told Checkpoint there's now a proposal to make all the workers redundant. Some will have the opportunity to work at other stores. Yes. So
some will have the opportunity to work at other stores.
Yes, exactly.
Aren't you lucky?
Well, yes. I mean, and the thing is, when they say that, they're like, yeah, they'll go to other stores. How far away are they expecting people to potentially now start, completely travel? Like the amount of people who probably have to travel the far distance to get there enough anyway.
Well, there's New World, the metro one, which is like on Queen Street, which is kind of close. That's probably the next closest one. After that, I think you're talking like ages away, like probably.
I'd be surprised if the metro even has enough vacancies to take.
It won't.
I'm assuming because, we've got a metro here, and I'm assuming it's a similar. Because actually, no, I think I have been to that one. So yeah, there's no way
They're
they're going
pretty
to have
similar.
enough spaces to take a decent amount of that. And yeah, some of them will
Barely
get
has enough
offered
space
that.
for its own produce. It's tiny.
Exactly. But it seems like the reason is because apparently their Point Chevalier, which I'm not from Auckland, so I'm not sure how much further away. Would you be able to give like a rough idea? Is that quite far? Oh, maybe.
Oh, sorry. What was it?
Point Chevalier.
That. Wait, what?
Oh,
How's
let's
that the
just.
closest?
Well, no, it's one that they're building.
Oh, okay.
Because it seems like they're
where the hell is Point
expediting the
Chevalier?
process of building it in order to. Yeah, okay. People are saying it's far. So
Yeah, it's a reasonable distance. Yeah.
And so, yeah, this seems to be kind of influencing that decision because obviously it was due to open 9th of September, but now they're working towards opening it on the 19th of August. So, yeah, it says, he said, the new Point Chevalier store will be the closest New World option for many affected Victoria Park shoppers, especially those in surrounding suburbs. But yeah, yes, they're just bringing forward it, which yeah, again seems stupid.
The entire building's just like a write-off, is it? And they're not even going to bother building a replacement?
Not sure at this point. It doesn't seem to state that they know what they're going to do with the site. It's extensive. It was expected to be out of operations for approximately 2 years, while significant rebuild would take place. So whether they'll actually go ahead with that rebuild as well, I'm not sure. But I thought we should probably watch. Now, you and I have already watched this before because we were doing this on our own channel. But so during Scrutiny Week, Benjamin Doyle from the Green Party put out a really interesting video on their Instagram. And the context is that makes this even more, relevant is that they were questioning this during Scrutiny Week only like a few hours before this fire at the New World happened. And yes, so we will let them speak and see what's going on.
Thank you to my colleague from Labour for starting us on FENZ. This topic is really important to all of us. And I think noting and building on the comment around the decrease in funding from a previous 10 million to 8 million, and that's kind of been a flat line without any adjustment for inflation. I'm interested around particularly your expectations around investments in the aerial machinery and the aerial trucks. We've seen recently numerous occasions.
I'll just pause it here too. So this says, lives at risk without more aerial fire trucks. Firefighters agree to work on previously blacklisted aerial truck. Firefighters left high above recycling plant fire after another aerial truck breakdown. Another Auckland aerial fire truck breaks down, leaving firefighters frustrated.
There have been incidents.
And this last one, Auckland firefighters told you're on your own as the only aerial in Hamilton goes offline for COF. So, and for the background context in that, essentially Hamilton had kept letting Auckland borrow their aerial fire truck because Benjamin will explain it, but we basically have a nationwide shortage on them.
Where aerial trucks are not available, they break down, they put people's lives at risk because they are not functioning to the standard they need to be functioning at. If you are decreasing funding from 10 million down to 8 million without adjustment for inflation, and we're not seeing trucks being invested in or bought for decades, and no increase. I understand, because I've questioned you about this before, that there are replacements coming. We haven't been given a date for them to be implemented, these aerial trucks. So we're waiting for that. Just this week, Waikato has said, Auckland, you can't use our aerial truck. There are no aerial trucks available in the upper North Island. This is putting people's lives at risk, including firefighters. We're decreasing. Well, I know one of those trucks costs about $2 million.
Only $2 million. And I am going to say only $2 million.
Yep.
Because how many fire trucks could you get for 2.9 billion?
And how much could a billionaire spend every day until they lose money in like 50 years finally?
Exactly.
Assuming they make no more money? About $1 million.
So if we're decreasing funding without adjustment for inflation, and you're saying we are not going to cut back on investment, how are we going to ensure that we have the machinery we require to meet the increase in population, to meet the increase in demand, to meet the increase in extreme weather events, which will lead to fires and flooding? Because we know,
like flooding. That when did that last happen or happening?
fire and emergency don't just respond to fires; they respond to all sorts of emergencies. What are your expectations around that? How can we see this budget ensuring that those really essential, expensive pieces of equipment are going to be delivered in a timely way? We can't keep having machinery breakdown and putting people's lives at risk. So I'm really keen to hear from you about that particular focus. Thank you, Mike.
So yeah, I mean, they've laid out a lot, and they've got the facts, they've got the data, they've got the numbers. As much as this coalition hates that, you know, they're decreasing funding when like the upper North Island only has one aerial fire truck. That is insane to me. Like the amount of underfunding that's now kind of coming out of like FENZ is going to really, really end up killing people. I mean, we've seen so many instances over the last, like we were saying before, the last few years even, where there have been, like I remember seeing videos from, I think it was in the Gisborne area, where like there was people who had been working in a shed, and that they'd be like climbing on top of sheds and stuff like that to try and get away from the floods, and then have to be rescued from being atop them. I wonder what would maybe rescue them. Do you think it might be something that's like aerialish? Yeah. And this is something that this government's budget has not prioritized. They've just said, "Oh, we've got to cut." Like, I mean, there's another thing that we'll go into later with Luxon, but you know, they just keep saying, "Oh, well, we just have to cut money from anywhere that we can." Just because you can cut money from it doesn't fucking mean you should.
We've got to save these pennies.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it would be pennies. Now,
yeah, well, $2 million is not much to a government. It's not. Not these days, anyway.
Exactly.
Especially when you're talking about fire emergency.
Exactly. I'm just looking up because people hate my clickety clack keyboard if I type.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to type, people, because I want to go. How many times?
I think the chat did figure out who was responsible.
You did?
Yeah, it was the cookers. The cookers caused the fire.
I mean, they do like to start some shit, that's for sure. Okay, so if a aerial fire truck costs $2 million, for 2.9 billion, you could buy 1,450 of them.
Ugh.
That's a lot of fucking fire trucks. There would definitely be probably far too many fire trucks, even.
Yeah, that might be a bit much. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have enough people. But
exactly. Yeah. But that's exactly it, is that 2.9 billion would get us nearly 1,500 fire trucks. Sorry, I'm also laughing because
maybe your rent didn't go up this year. That was the trade-off.
Oh, you mean that trickle down?
Yeah,
trickle down. Trickle down your fucking chin.
It's gonna start working. You just need to give it time. All right?
I'm waiting. I mean, is it kind of like light years where you've got to wait ages after the fact to finally see it happening?
Yeah, and I think it might be like maybe it's some like relativity thing too. Like the richer your country gets, the slower it starts approaching. Like how time slows down, the faster the speed of light you go. I don't know.
Also, I love this from Dot Louis, and they don't have to be the Ferrari of fire engines. No, we don't need Ferrari fire engines. We just need some cheap $2 million ones. Like that is literally.
That's a popular brand. I think it's German.
I mean, even if we just think of the poor businesses, New World. Think about how much money that New World would have been making. What about all the profits and the owners and what they'll? I mean, to be fair, they're a little bit different since they're owner operated, but still, regardless, like.
You think of the billionaires that this is harming. They're losing money now because they don't have that New World that they could be making more money off.
Well, exactly. Like we've been talking a lot about this week. About the fact that like these rich people, they utilize the same infrastructure and the same, well, I'd say the same services, but that's where it obviously changes because that's where their privilege and wealth gets them access to services.
Oh, these people, they make ACC claims. Let's not pretend like they do. Anything they can do to save a penny, they will use those services. They're not going to be like, free money, meh.
I'm more meaning the lesser services, but yes, exactly. Sure. Like they are making so much money, and yet where's the investment into firefighters and fire trucks to put out, these businesses that might have, I don't know, got ram raided and then set on fire. I don't know. Whatever weird spinway might make the other side actually agree.
How much does ACC got to pay out to a freaking stockbroker who can't work anymore?
I mean, to be fair, like that whole it's just frustrating to see that we are having all of these issues. Climate is only going to be making all of these issues worse. And all we need is a little bit of investment. I mean, they're taking it down? They said from 10 down to they're reducing it by 2 million. That literally could have just covered the fire truck. What's that 2 million really going to be saving them for anything? Nothing. Like that is a drop in the bucket for them. And it's just, it's frustrating.
I don't know about the billionaires, but apparently, according to Greg, the billionaires create jobs. So we need to get some of those.
Oh, yes. As old fucking propaganda Gower likes to say. Those billionaires are pretty cool, eh?
Not the billionaires, the billionaires. They're different. We need some of them.
It's a mistype, but yes.
Oh, whoops.
The K and the L are next to each other. I thought you were being serious for a second. That was so funny.
Fuck no.
Also, yes. No, thank you, everyone. Actually, that's a good point. So supermarkets could literally afford their own emergency services. Like
what? Who was it in the? I think it was in the Discord today. Someone showed a picture of butter from Fiji. It was like $3.
Yes, I saw that picture of just our butter being $3 over there. But hey, that's just because those poor dairy farmers and stuff. They got to make as much of the shares from the profit that comes.
Yeah, they got an easy farming in Fiji.
Yeah, it's just infuriating watching all of these things happen when the government knows that this is an issue. And yet, I don't see anything happening with any of that. Instead, they'd rather put all their effort into weird kind of back and forth. Oh, no, he's being mean to me. Oh, I don't want to get involved. Like, it's frustrating watching, the other side not take anything seriously. Well, this is going to affect people, God knows how many people, We don't know how many more climate events are going to happen that are going to claim lives that may have been avoidable had we had the infrastructure and the things that we need and not underfund them like dickheads.
Or try to lessen value on human life, like Brooke. We put far too much value on a human life.
Right? Oh, the fact that she thought that was acceptable.
I want her to wind up in an emergency room, and she needs to ask her parents pay the bill, and they're just like, "Oh, look, it's just too much. I'm sorry."
Oh no, she goes to those privatized hospitals. Doesn't want to be with those
they cost more,
uncivilized.
so
yeah, but they make a profit and they make stonks on the market.
Oh, we love stonks. Hell
right?
Yes. When the line goes up, that's the best.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter if quality of life, cost of living, all these things. Fuck it. Who cares? Oh, all right. I think we should go into a few memes. Cleanse my soul.
Going to Mars.
Going to Mars?
Yeah, we're going to Mars.
What are we? Elon Musk?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was from before. Oh no, did Bob Villain hurt your feelings? Went to check my phone storage and saw the woke gay agenda is alive and well. Is anyone surprised?
Oh, I thought that would just mean they got Grindr installed on there.
That's the joke, babe. That is the joke.
Oh, I thought the joke was well, it's a double joke then.
Yes, exactly.
They got the gay flag and they got Grindr. I see.
Yeah, they're double gay.
That's pretty gay.
Conservatives can't stop obsessing over trans people. It's pronounced mentally ill. Oh, sorry. The mentally ill can't stop obsessing over trans people. Grocery prices are surging and the cost of living is biting deep. Well, don't let it be said that this government doesn't move quickly when it sees a problem. That's why we're excited to announce harsher penalties for anyone caught stealing food. And remember, whānau, if you see someone stealing food, the fuck you did.
Well, I saw someone stealing the other day, but it wasn't from like a countdown. It was like from the independent supermarket beside me. So I was sort of mixed feelings about that. I stared at them a bit. I was sort of like, "You go fucking hijack a new world, mate." Like,
yeah. Go to the well, probably more the Woolworths, but yeah, go for the Australian one.
True.
School meals should be free for everybody. Charging children to eat somewhere they are legally required to be for the entire day is exploitative. And you know what? When you put it like that, me shitposting anti-fascist propaganda on a billionaire-owned social media platforms. I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy and to defeat them.
You haven't said it right. I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. It's like that.
Okay,
the raspy voice. Yeah, you gotta do it right.
Shame me. Also, someone posted this after my my move that bus, move that window joke. So I appreciated this. I don't know where you found this, but I love it. Oh,
Yay!
Do we want to dip our toe in? Dip a toe in?
Yeah, dip your toe. We need some happiness.
Oh, this is not the one to give you happiness. Sorry. Yeah, this is debt slavery in a nutshell. If you take out a loan for a letter, you can get the food. Public services and basic need. The public. It's almost like it's a rigged fucking system. I like this one. So this is, I believe, is who's taking over. Oh, what's her name? It's like Junkovic or something. The blonde lady.
Oh, the lady that stepped down.
Yeah, the lobby lady, I think she is. But I loved the home improvement nod to the home improvement. So good. Oh, it is Junkovic. Also, yeah. Tanya, that's her first name. Tanya. I
The
don't know.
turf.
I had
That's a good
not
label.
heard
There
of
you go.
her until I heard she was quitting.
The self-help turf lady.
Tanya, not the prominent New Zealander Unkovic. I did like the way that Chewie had to make sure he was very specific in his statement. Also,
What
no,
statement?
I'm not too young for home improvement, guys. I am a 30-year-old human. I watched that shit. Actually, I started rewatching Home Improvement not that long ago.
Rewatching.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Well, I think it's because I was watching something and I think it was the guy that played, oh my god, no, I've just forgotten his name. Not Tim, the other guy on the show.
Al? I think it's
Al.
Al.
Yeah. He was in something that I was watching, like recent, that was more recent, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. I forgot he existed. And then went down the Home Improvement rabbit
I've
hole
rewatched
again.
it recently, but apparently it's a surprisingly woke show.
It is.
Which is
It
interesting
really is.
considering it's got Tim Allen in it.
I mean, but like there actually is some pretty like surprisingly decent like takes and arcs and stories. And I obviously, when I was a kid, I only watched it because like Jonathan Taylor Thomas was cute and I had a crush on him. So
Oh, he was the one you had a crush
yeah,
on.
Jonathan
Okay.
Taylor Thomas, of course. Why? Which brother
What?
did you have a crush on?
The nerdy one?
Yeah. Isn't he the middle? I think he was the middle kid. The
I don't
middle
know.
kid, pretty sure. Not the blonde one.
And then I
Blonde
think it
one
went
was
like
okay.
he had a goth arc later on too. I think
Mm.
when they were like teenagers and stuff. That would work for me
Mhm.
as well. Are you like me? So you go back and you watch the old shows and you like watch them in order?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I've been doing that. I've been what's the one I've been doing recently? Kids Next Door. That's what I've been watching.
I need
That's
actually.
hype.
I need to put that on my fucking
Hell
watch
yeah.
later. That's
First season's a little rocky. Season 2, they get clearly got a big bump in budget and stuff, and they actually start doing more lore stuff. So
I should go
season
back
1's
and
a little
watch
rough.
that. Yeah, I haven't rewatched other than Betaism. That's probably the only one more recently that I rewatched because I fucking love
Oh, yeah.
Betaism. But yeah, anyway, instead of going on the random Magenta's old enough to fucking it is funny how much people don't realize my age, but hey, you know what? I'm not mad unless I've left my ID at home and I'm getting ID'd. Then it's kind of annoying.
Oh, Kiwi Skirt's off, by the way. Bye-bye, Kiwi Skirt.
Oh, good night, Kiwi Skirt. Thank you
Night-night.
for hanging out. But yes, we shall go into our last big story of the night. Which
Big show, big stories, big jobs.
Right. I'm a big girl and I can take care of myself. See, we need the fucking pet soundboard. So I saw a really interesting article on stuff, and I thought it would be interesting for us to have a look at because it kind of ties into a few different, I guess, side areas in terms of the issues that have been covered this week. So it's called Destroy, Demolish, and Roast. What's up with the coalition and angry YouTube posts? Which actually we'll play the video first.
Howdy. How are you? Not too bad. Yeah, you too. Not a worry. I gather you was surprised we'd accept the interview.
I didn't say that.
I gather you used the C word in reference to how we were supposed to regard you.
Got him.
Fair enough. Maybe it was a misunderstanding.
I just love the way he's just trying to come in off the bat, just so like combatant and shit like that. Just like, oh, bitch, you didn't think we'd come in. Yeah, nah, because honestly, you're a little bitch and you often don't want to go up against.
The fact that anyone is even cheerleading this, because he clearly tried to come in with some gusto and a bit more like making a bit more of a grandiose entrance, but this was like the equivalent of like him coming through the door and just tripping up and landing on his face. Like he starts pushing back a little bit. Campbell does, and then Seymour's just sort of like, well, all right. I thought I heard you say the starts backing down a little.
Yeah, well, just kind of from the outset, it kind of feels like that's him almost trying to like assert his dominance. Like,
well, because I think I think he's tried plays all this out in his head, like it's just gonna be epic, and I'm gonna wreck this guy, and goes in and actually tries to do it, and then like I think the anxiety probably sinks in on him a bit, and he's probably like, oh god, am I in too deep here? I don't know.
One more time, Junior, I'm not responsible for them. When the other party, if it was New Zealand first, you'd be legitimately asking me the question.
Mr. Peters, what do you plan to say today in the debate regarding the proposed punishment for the 3 Te Patamari MPs?
Are you serious?
Yes.
The debate's coming up and you want me to tell you now?
What is
Look,
your message?
Here's the most important message here. It's question time today, and I'm not got one question.
Let's talk about Andy over here. So, Andy, hi, Andy. Nice to see you. So, Andy is rolling on this. This is presumably for David versus the media.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Yeah, he just looked at.
He's like, no, don't acknowledge the cameraman, please. Can we need to have the interview.
Right.
Yeah. So that seems to me to be being very good at politics, right? So what Andy's doing is he's going to put it up.
Well, it's not politics, though. I mean,
no, it's about speaking directly to your constituency, isn't it?
And that part was what I really fucking love to hear. That one little line, I don't feel like we hear enough when people try to just use the fucking, oh, well, it's politics. It's not politics, or, just addressing it being like, no, well, it's speaking to people. Like, that is politics.
Yeah. No, exactly. Sorry, I was just distracted by his shoes, wondering how high those heels are. Maybe it's the angle, but they do look kind of high. Maybe he's trying to make himself look cooler.
It's like a tiny little, maybe wedge, but
yeah. And what are your big?
Well, we go to duty to be open to people, and what we found is that for years, people in the media abused the power to edit,
and the foul lifestyles.
Even just the body language there, like John Campbell was just cross-legged, just all relaxed. Like, I'm not bothered by this, but fucking that Seymour is like stiff as a board.
Too many of the whānau find themselves trapped in. Number one, let the light be disinfectant.
Ooh,
that fucking was just, I'm like, what are you trying to say? What?
It's very poetic.
Very weird. Also, this is just David.
All right. Yeah, what a lovely person. Anyway, so as you can see, not everyone's happy to live in the beautiful New Zealand, but I guess some people have a bad day and
just getting absolutely yelled at and roasted in town.
What a lovely person. Fuck, he's like a psychopath. He's online, like going like, here's the worst fucking human being of the day. I'm gonna fucking post their fucking face online for everyone to go fucking harass, and then talk to someone on the street. It's like, what a lovely person.
Exactly. But yeah, so that was kind of like setting up to kind of just be like, there seems to be this definite like very aggressive, negative kind of rage baiting, essentially, that is kind of, is happening primarily from ACT and New Zealand First, especially because it seems that, I try to avoid watching actual videos from the ACT, or, I would, unless I absolutely had to, because obviously I wouldn't want to give them the views. But it seems that they have, and I know actually you hang out in the ACT Party comments, don't you? You fucking do. Oh, that's right. You're the best, because I'm assuming you'll see it quite a lot. There seems like there's quite an active social media presence on YouTube for ACT.
Yeah. Well, because my tactic when I go in there is not arguing with them. It's taking exactly what they said and just rephrasing it in the most bigoted way you can. And then I say, as an ACT Party fan, and that's why I always say that too, ACT Party fan, like I'm a fanboy.
But yeah, so Dr. Luke Oldfield from Victoria University, he's a political science lecturer. He said that ACT in New Zealand First appeared to be following trends set by American populists. This sort of Ben Shapiro type stuff, it's social media fodder that will get picked up by the algorithms. Shapiro is obviously, we know who he is, but for those who don't, is a conservative commentator whose videos have made him quite popular. Because he just rage baits everything. And it seems like that's definitely something, like when we look at the fucking derangement syndrome bullshit, like that is the same thing. It's just trying to kind of rock up the people on your side while also giving them someone to attack on the other side.
I think it partly goes into social insulation or isolation too. Lots of look, we all live in our own bubble to a degree,
Yes.
Occasionally we all try to it's wise to try and get out and experience other opinions and groups, and I found that sometimes, especially I've found myself in groups where they just are completely not on the same page. But what I always do try to do is try to find some way we can bridge that gap, something we can agree on, and usually that's a better place to take it from than just, hey, we disagree and your side sucks and your side sucks. And I try not to look things in the whole sideism thing. I'm not sure if you've probably heard it enough, but me rejected the whole left versus right thing. I mean,
yeah,
it's good in situations. It's definitely helpful for people to understand some basic concepts, but ultimately it can be problematic, and this is partly it. It's sportsmen like cheering for your team.
Yeah,
I'm an ACT fan.
we like to create binaries. It's just another version of a binary of light, dark, happy, sad, black.
Yeah. Exactly. Woke, not woke, with the not woke ones. And tribalism. There you go. Thank you. That's a good way to put it. And I also think it partly it's been more. It's not necessarily due to COVID, but I think that sort of exacerbated the whole issue of people getting more isolated in their bubbles, and that you're just talking to sort of people who pump up your worldview, and you get angry at the other side. I see it on our side too. I see a lot of people sometimes there'll be a news article and a lot of people will be like, this thing. I'm like, maybe it's not the worst thing. This article I'm looking at, and you look into it and you're like, well, it's not that bad. But and it's not like I don't do that either. I'll sometimes see something and be like, oh fuck, this makes me mad, and then I'll reconsider. I'm like, yeah, actually wasn't the worst thing in the world.
But I mean,
now that I think about it.
It makes sense, especially when we think about the context of during COVID, there was unfortunately a lot of mis and disinformation, Russian mis and disinformation that has clearly stuck its roots in certain people that are still kind of clinging to that today, who are, watching conspiracy videos about this, that, and the other. Honestly, it feels like there's almost everything could be a conspiracy at some point with them. And it's definitely made things ugly.
I think it's less from a political point of view that you need to get outside your bubble. You just need to get outside your bubble. I think you've said this a couple of times to people we've spoken to. You've said, when was the last time you just stopped, took a break from politics, even for just a day? Sometimes you got to do that, and you got to go outside, realize there's just real people who aren't politically aligned, they were plugged in with all these things. They might have opinions or things they want done when it comes to politics, but a lot of people are much more neutral or partisan where it comes to a lot of these issues, and they're not sitting there going, fuck yeah, fucking Jacinda, she's the worst thing, it ruined everything for all time, because you've watched 500 fucking YouTube videos on the topic of why Chloe Schwarbrick is the worst person of all time, or how the Greens are going to destroy humanity. And again, that partly goes into touching grass, you don't spend all your days on YouTube and fucking Facebook and all that shit. Guys, just go talk to someone. I don't mean a therapist, just talk to someone. Go out in the park, have a conversation, make a friend.
I do think though that like, especially with this stuff with like the way that Winston's been acting and the way that David has been acting is that it feels like not only are they weaponizing all of the, rage baiting, all those kind of pulling people in by basically just making them feel like they're victims to something. But the fact that Christopher Luxon keeps allowing this behavior to go unchecked, it feels like there's this complete blurring of the lines now where politicians aren't actually being held to a standard that they should be held to. And while they're acting and also like the fact that he's just because like I was actually I've got a video I
Well, when your top dog is just fucking on a chain and not barking, like that's a part of your issue. Fucking Luxon's just like,
It's not even just seems like he's just it just seems like he's trying to almost there's actually I'll find it in this video. It's only a minute 20 video and I can skip through some of it if I need to. But this was technically talking about funding cuts but there was a comment, I think it's is this gonna be loud enough? I hope this is loud enough.
Yeah, look, I've had comment on that earlier in the week, and I've said, look, I'm not, as Prime Minister, getting in the middle of refereeing a political debate.
And so that, if you couldn't hear, that they were asking about the letter that Tory Whānau sent to Luxon about David's behaviour, and just that saying, "Oh, I'm not going to go in there and stop their little political debate," as if her letter is somehow just a debate against him, not an actual serious complaint that actually is really fucking important. Because like this is where I've been kind of getting frustrated, is because to me it feels like he is just setting a precedent that is extremely dangerous. It is saying that it is acceptable for someone whom actually is the Prime Minister when he leaves the country, which Christopher Luxon always fucking leaves the country. So he's saying that it is acceptable for the Deputy Prime Minister to be bullying other people. Also, when Winston was Deputy Prime Minister, all the fucking horrible racist comments towards like Ricardo, and the Mexican comments and all of that.
Which fractured our relationship with Mexico partly. Like
yeah. Which, no fucking surprise, it was horribly racist. And this is the thing that's starting to really fuck me off, is that like he's just allowed to be like, "Oh, I'm not getting in their little argument." It's not a fucking little argument. It is someone who is supposed to look out for and be serving the country. Also, let's not forget, Christopher Luxon, by the time he leaves, will earn over $2 million from being Prime Minister. David Seymour, in just his deputy prime ministership, will be getting over $700,000 just for this half of his job. That's not including what he makes as the minister before he came into that. Also, we are paying so much.
Compare that situation with the Mexican. I can't remember who it was. It was like the foreign representative or something with Winston Peters, and the Phil Goff situation. I don't even remember what the fuck he said, honestly. What was Phil Goff revoked of his status for? I don't even remember. Do you remember what he said?
No, sorry.
No, someone remind me.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was also reading some of the things because, like, and the reason I'm kind of really trying to point out here is that this is Christopher Luxon. Because, like, a comment like this, expecting Luxon to do anything is that it's not going to happen because he's not strong enough. But that's what I'm saying. This is the precedent that I think is fucking terrifying. If Jacinda Ardern had allowed, let's say somehow she was with David and if she allowed what's going on right now, they would be calling for her head, trying to find any way to make a snap election. They would be absolutely coming for blood. But us as New Zealanders, we're just starting to laugh at Chris going, "Oh, he's so useless." No, actually, we're paying him $2 million to fuck us.
Yep.
and he didn't even buy you a fucking drink first. He gave you back your prescription charges. He fucking gave you more in transport costs. He didn't give you any of the trickle-down economics he promised you.
And one of the biggest promises they did for a lot of the sort of middle upper class Kiwis was promise more power stations for their electric cars, which now is an ambitious goal. I think they've quoted.
Oh, I mean, what happens?
Which is no longer an election promise. So
I'll help the squeezed middle by making sure families can get like this much money, and it was all lies. But my thing is that it's like right now, why is it acceptable for him to just keep doing this, to keep just passing it as off as if it's no big deal? Because it's also frustrating, because when it comes to specifically, the Tory whānau letter. So the one thing that I found, I don't really feel like anyone that I've seen talking about this issue has actually brought up the fact that, so when it comes to David Seymour, essentially bullying academics from our universities. So this is not including obviously those who are not a part of a university.
They should have gone into business.
When it comes to, say, the likes of Dr. Carwyn Jones and those things who are universities, so I don't know if people are aware, but under Section 268 of the Education and Training Act 2020, universities are actually mandated to take the role of critic and conscious of a society. And that is a really important point, because like when I was at uni, this was kind of what they pointed to, and why, say, when it comes to having certain people maybe on the right who are controversial, there's certain spaces where people are allowed to have more controversial takes and opinions, even though this one isn't controversial, but they're legally mandated. That is what the university and academics are there to do. It is their actual job. And the fact that they're just bullying those academics for doing something that is legally mandated, like this is in our policies. This has been in our policies for a long time. And the fact that Chris is just going, oh, it's just a little debate. It is not just a little debate. It's that you've got people who are genuinely supposed to be able to have those dissenting opinions being targeted unfairly.
Part of the game. People in society are going to criticize the society they live in. Like, no shit. It's not.
Well, and that's the thing is politics. Like I say it almost every week at this point. Politics, the root word literally goes back to people, because politics is about everything that has to do with us. And
also, I'm seeing. Sorry.
No, you go.
So I was just going to say, I was seeing a number from Sonia saying he may have killed about 1,000 cancer patients by going back on his promise to fund the medication, then changing his mind. So.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. And like that's the thing is when they extend out all of these bullshit things, but then they want to, Oh, also reminder, before midnight, we've got to go onto the submissions website so they can not try to force banks to stay with fossil fuel companies. We'll talk about it again later. But yeah, basically that's where I'm just getting to the point where I'm frustrated, because we're seeing this blurring of lines, this changing of kind of, we're just having like a back and forth that's a little bit more intense, to actually we should be able to call these things out, and we should be able to expect our Prime Minister to at least say something or do something. Because I mean, at this point, I would literally prefer him being like, oh yeah, I'm going to go sit down and talk to them, because at least that would be something. At least he would be actually doing his fucking job.
Yeah, like it's usually platitudes, and not much is usually accomplished from it. But historically, in the past, it's been quite a common occurrence for groups that have grievances with leaders, that they will go out and meet them, say, "Yeah, I'll listen," and they'll say all the right things when they're there, but they usually won't follow through with it. But we won't go down there. But at least it's something.
Yeah.
Now it's just fuck those guys,
And that's where I'm starting to get quite concerned in terms of it's the dismissive nature of it all that's starting to feel just problematic. It just feels like it's we're accepting it feels like we're in an abusive relationship, you know, and like it's like we're accepting so many bad things because the bar has been set so low for us, when really we need to actually be assertive and go, no, I deserve better. Not only do I deserve better, but I fucking pay you. I fucking pay you to do this.
It's becoming that that partisanship is like just being reflected to the way people, like the prime minister and the parties govern now, is going, oh, fuck that part of society, they don't vote for us.
You know? They're not important.
They're not important. Yeah, even though I'm literally you're under my care, but fuck you.
Well, yeah, and then I mean it's even worse. Like, so we take the fact that not only is David Seymour sitting here bullying academics and actual New Zealand citizens, but also then you've got the fact that David Seymour was implying that the cuts to RNZ funding was actually a message to the public broad. So yeah, Deputy Prime Minister David Seymour claimed the RNZ funding cut sent a message to the public broadcaster. Labour's Reuben Davidson is accusing Seymour of snowflake behaviour given his comments about cutting RNZ funding, but Chris denied reducing it. This was the video from thing. I think it's just right at the beginning.
What is the message, and in your view, is that appropriate?
The reason was very straightforward. We expect all government agencies and Crown entities to be really, everyone's made savings across the system over the last couple of years, and that was no different here. RNZ had a massive increase in its budget over a number of years, and we just wanted it to make sure it was right size, like we've asked every other agency and every other Crown.
What is right size? What the fuck does that mean?
But right here, actually, you can't hear her very well, so I'll just take it back.
Well, the message very clearly is we had a budget.
So that was her asking again, you know, was that to send a message? And we see the classic lying Luxon stutter. That was which I'm not gonna lie, the fact we know that's his like lying tell makes me go, so you're implying it was a threat.
I want to play poker with him so bad.
Yeah.
Stutters, all in.
But yeah, that was just
agencies. It's a taxpayer-funded money.
Him trying to fall back on the. It's not anything like that. But again, this is him allowing David Seymour to go out and imply that this is a threat from the government. It should not be acceptable for a deputy prime minister to imply a threat towards our New Zealand fucking media. Like, it's unacceptable. He's attacking everyone. He's implying threats to our fucking broadcasters. Like, when will Luxon actually do his job? Or when will someone hold him accountable? Because that's the other frustrating part, is why is there nothing that we can do to actually get someone to either force Luxon's hand to do something? Like, it's just...
And, it's not just backed up in the implication of the statement he made. It's backed up in previous rhetoric. He keeps saying constantly his confrontation with John Campbell, all those kinds of things, him showing up, calling them woke media, biased media, you guys have just got an agenda. Said that to, about the documentary being made about it, crackpot conspiracy documentary. All that shit. Like, it's completely all there in his rhetoric. And not to mention, like, of course they're biased. We're biased. He's biased. Everyone's biased. Like, no fucking shit.
Absolutely.
Some people are biased. They don't want to watch their friends and family die and suffer and, have a shitty life.
Crazy.
Other people are biased and they want to be fucking rich and powerful and please their donors. So, you know.
It's funny you
Uh,
say that.
Yeah.
I found an article in the was it in the New Zealand Herald? I can show you what rich people's problems are right now on the news.
Oh, yeah, no.
You
I'm
guys want
very
to see what
curious.
rich people problems they're
Yeah,
having
let's
right
see
now?
about the rich people problems. That's very important. That needs some airtime.
Auckland councillor Mike Lee pushes to ban private helipads in residential areas.
Oh,
So, yeah, Auckland councillors could soon take the initiative to prohibit private helipads in residential areas. Waitemata and Golf councillor Mike Lee intends to put the controversial issue to a vote this month after rich listers Ali Williams and Anna Mowbray were given the green light to fly helicopters from their $24 million home in Westmere.
I mean, what can you say, really? It's just like I for one,
imagine.
am sick of all my neighbors flying their helicopters onto their property. It just gets on my nerves.
Who the fuck needs to request? Like, don't get me wrong, I can understand trying to get a permit for a car park, but a helicopter ain't a fucking car, and climate change is real. Like, this is what rich people are worrying about.
Also, who the fuck goes in a who wants to fly in a helicopter all the time? Those things are death traps. Like, at least in a plane, if the engine cuts out, you can like glide down and crash land. I mean, helicopter. You know what? Maybe we should put more billionaires in helicopters, and maybe we should lower the standard of helicopters.
Well, yeah, because it also says here that 90% of the 1,400 submissions opposing this, but they still allowed it. So fuck the actual people who live in that area that are actually going to be more affected than these fucking rich people who want to be able to fly into their fucking Auckland home for a couple of days after coming back from God knows where. Like, it's disgusting. But yeah, the fact that these are the people that this government is helping. And these are the people that are funding the National Party, that are funding the ACT Party. Like,
apparently there's situations where helicopters can glide. I'm not sure what you guys mean by glide. Are you talking about when they like take the rotor and they use like the thrust and then like reverse it? Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm aware of that maneuver, but you'd need wings to glide, wouldn't you? I mean,
I'm not an airplane guy, man. That was the kind of autism
it's not an
I didn't
airplane.
get on.
Glide crash. Yeah, well, I did go to a I was at Matamata flying school for a couple of weeks. I flew a plane, Cessna 152 solo.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
How cool.
Yeah. I was
Is
there
it
with
so
the
you could fly your
grandson.
helicopter to your $24 million?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been
holiday home?
certified, but no, it was not. I don't. In fact, in hindsight, I don't know why I did it. I think it was sort of I think it was one of those parent-child sort of channeling of their dream into. It might have been one of those things where my parents were encouraging me to do it because I think my dad wanted to do it. He had a heart condition, but he always wanted to fly.
Yeah, live vicariously through your kid. Fair
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of where I was with that. So like, I mean, it's very obvious. Like, we know that this government is employing so many horrible tactics, and actually that's why I'm excited for us to go over Paul's video next week. Please reply to me, because that has even more that I would love to go into about just the tactics that we're seeing. And my biggest concern just being, how do we have a prime minister that is not only allowing this, but he's encouraging it? He's encouraging it through his passivity. He's like, it feels like they keep testing, like it feels like when you're a kid trying to test the waters with your parents to see how much you can get away with.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
that's really
That's
what
my
it
favorite
feels
thing.
like. You would say that. And that's the thing, is it really does feel like that this is just two horrible fucking teenagers just absolutely running rings around the parent, and by the parent just continuously saying, "Oh no, it's okay, darling, it's all right. Oh no, that's that, you deal with that." Like, that is reinforcing this behavior and only making it stronger, and sending a message not only to David and Winston, but to everyone else in this country when we sit there and watch him just let these people do this.
It is like a social experiment, Bamboo. I agree. It's a fucked up social. I'm expecting like
The
Nathan
Atlas
Fielder.
networks.
He's going to come out any
Experiment.
minute. Nathan Field is going to come out and be like, "Yeah, it's all a joke. This was all a joke.
Mhm.
This is a stupid experiment for my next HBO show."
And I wish it was, but it's not a joke. And we're literally paying millions of. Oh God! Actually, I didn't even think about how many millions it is, because I'd have to do the math of how much everyone in the coalition gets paid. Maybe we'll do those numbers for next week. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll do that next week. We'll look at tallying how much we're paying the whole coalition to do all of this. That'll be our math homework for next week. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of mostly it with that story. I just think it's really, it's starting
That's
to
all that's in
actually
my
just
mind
grow
now.
on.
Those poor rich people and their
No.
helicopters. You know?
They're helicopters, man.
I'm-
Well, do we want to start a GoFundMe for them?
Give them tax breaks.
Right. Let's do a couple of memes and then we'll finish off with some positive news, because I somehow managed to scrape the internet to find some. Actually, no, real quickly before memes, because otherwise I'll forget again. We're just going to remind everyone that you only have about an hour and a half to go to the Parliament website, the submissions, and go to the Financial Markets Conduct of Institutions Amendment due to provide financial services amendment bill. This bill would actually require that banks are not able to cut ties with fossil fuel or any kind of industry that does questionable stuff, like, I don't know, supports the IDF or those types of things. This is a really important one. I was only really made aware of it last minute. If you want more information about it, I do just realize I will put a link to a website that has further information. Let me see if I can just get that into the chat now. Hopefully it's not too long. But yes, so that website I can show you all real quick. They're the one. So someone shared this in the Discord. And obviously I only just noticed this.
The helicopter video?
No.
No? Okay.
So
I just
yeah.
watched that, by the way. I guess they can glide.
Oh. But yes, so this would mean that banks couldn't ditch oil, gas, or coal companies even if they wanted to. They would be blocked from factoring in climate or certain human rights risks, and banks could be exposed to risky, stranded fossil fuel assets. Submissions, they're close at 11:59 tonight, and they also actually have the first reading information as well. So just a quick little PSA to go do that quickly if you can. Now we should do a couple of super chats, I reckon. Donna Ellis for $8.99. Your vote is your resistance. Your voice is the resistance. Tuatia ira tangata, the human wave. I love that.
Hell yeah.
I love the idea that I love that imagery, just imagining us just washing away and cleansing the nation of this filth that is currently inhabiting us. We've got It's in the Ballot for $5. This government would rather ban vegan butter at $9.99 a kilo than try to reduce the real deal butter at $19.99 kg as a solution. Yeah, but what about those poor shareholders from Fonterra? Wouldn't someone please think of the shareholders?
Yeah, the vegan butter's cutting into their profits.
Right.
Come on.
Just can't believe it's not butter. Raijin for $2. Mega late fee. How are we doing tonight? We're doing all right. We're doing good. because we're all hanging out here.
Magenta still has not read your messages on Instagram, as we saw before.
Wait, what? Oh,
I don't know.
oh, shit,
There was
did
a
you
little
see
message
that?
icon.
I didn't realize I was logged into my actual Instagram.
Ryden's icon was down there.
Yeah, I haven't fucking clicked on a lot of things on Instagram. We got Kaimatara for $5. DS saw that he was losing support to NZ First in the recent polls and is now being a try-hard Winston impersonator to try and get them back. Honestly, yeah. I mean, he definitely is. And then Kaimatara again for $5. Thank you very much. Born early enough to watch Home Improvement, born too late to ever be able to afford a home improvement, let alone a house. The joys of being a millennial. Yeah, honestly, I got the worst of both worlds. The Danger of Mouse for $2. Luxon is reading Trump's book. He doesn't care. Well, we all know who wrote the book, right, everyone? Can we say it together? Atlas Network.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, babe, you literally
I
were
should
the
know
one
that.
that did the whole presentation for us.
I forgot
Oh,
about that
man.
one.
It's been a lot has happened since we did that, to be fair. Mr. Alex 789 for $10. Just to show how badly the government has tackled the cost of living crisis, butter is close to $20 at some supermarkets. And on Reddit, I was told that I am exaggerating or doom mongering. Yeah, and that is what that right more, I guess. I don't even want to call them right wing anymore. Let's just call them astroturfs. Those that astroturf mindset is just. It's the same way people try to accuse Jacinda of fear-mongering during COVID for just being honest about what it was. Like, to those types of people, they're already in such a heightened and engaged, like, state. They're not thinking through rational thought, and they're just going, eh.
Also, I did send you that article, I think, the other day. Oh, yeah, how much prices have gone up since 2022. There was a little chart in there that you can go quickly reference if you want. I'll just send it again.
Yeah. Just so I can find it.
Yeah.
We'll do a couple more chats and then we'll look at that.
As well.
We got Bob Horowitz for $16.99. Trickle. Just
Hell
trickle.
yeah. Just trickle.
And Mr. Arvids for $2. Big hairy copter fund.
No more trickle context. We need no more context for the trickle, please. It was good. It was good as is.
Trickle the down.
Trickle,
I see.
insert whatever you want.
Actually, I do think I know the one. I do remember the one you're talking about now. Where is? Oh, it's got an Excel sheet. I'm not.
It doesn't matter. The point is the colors. Just pay attention to the colors.
Okay, all right, guys. It's just it's not a math class. It's just a color class.
It's a color. Yeah. Can you distinguish green versus red?
Oh, I don't know. Someone might have red-green color blindness. We don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, so here we go. What have we got?
So there you go. Red is bad.
I mean, so what we got? The price in 2022 versus 2025. Yeah. So 2022 is the
Okay. So
first
carrots
and
got
third
better
column.
by a couple of cents.
I mean, yay.
Yeah.
That's why I eat a lot of carrots, because they're one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I did see like a kilogram bag or something like that of carrots out in the middle of nowhere. I bought that and it lasted me like 2 months, I swear.
Honestly, carrots are so good though. But yeah,
You eat enough, you'll turn orange. My
Yes.
godmother had that happen to her. She loved carrots a lot,
Damn.
and she started turning orange. Yeah.
I was gonna say you have to eat so much carrot for that to happen. That's actually impressive.
There's a lot of carrots.
Oh yes, I got a meme. Meme. Yes, meme, and then we'll go into a quick. Actually, no, I'll do the quick story first because otherwise we might not get time. So there's two small good news stories. One is a video. So how about we watch that one first? Oh, Google, don't do that. Excuse me, sir. Can you please listen? Goddamn computers. All right, so let's watch the video.
I mean, Google's always listening. I can tell you that.
Oh. So, if you weren't aware, there is a new podcast coming out, and this is the announcement for it. It's not a BHN one. Sorry, guys.
Here's what I'm thinking. So, it's basically a societal requirement at this point that everyone has a podcast. So why don't we have one? You and I. Yeah. I mean, it could basically be what we've always done. You and I have always been about this deep and curious investigation of our world in search of these little bits of information that lead to greater understanding, right? And we would even sit somewhere, always, with the intention of being super thoughtful about it. I don't know, it sounds like a podcast to me. I mean, it used to be about shapes and colors and letters and numbers and vegetables and stuff, but now it could really be about death and sex and taxes and everything that makes it so weird and wonderful to be alive. I don't know.
But yeah, so for those of you who... No, you.
If he's not
go.
calling it death, sex, and taxes, I'm going to be mad. Like,
Honestly, it's called Alive. That's the name of the podcast. But for those of you who might not have actually figured out who this is Steve from Blue's Clues. So obviously,
I knew.
Yes.
I was like, is that Paulie Shaw? I don't know.
Nope.
I couldn't figure it
Steve.
out. It is Steve from Blue's Clues. So he didn't kill himself with a pencil.
No, yes, yes. I love how that.
I
was
already
the
knew that.
rumor. Yeah,
it was the rumor. Yeah, I already
But
knew. He didn't.
I'll be honest, when I first watched this, I low-key broke down crying because I was like, Steve, I didn't know I needed you back, but I fucking need you back, bro. Like, it definitely feels like he's returned. Actually, I think one of my favorite comments. Oh, go past my own comment. You guys don't need to read that. Yeah, when the millennials and Gen Z needed him most, he returned. Welcome back, Steve. We missed you. And yeah, so Steve is starting a new podcast where he's gonna just sit down with us again like he used to in the big red chair and talk to us about real human life things, which I am so excited for. So that was the first bit of good news. And then the other one, which is just a bit of a quick kind of highlight and shout out, because I thought this news was really awesome. Visit the Indigiverse, where the oldest living culture inspires the newest living superheroes. Scott Wilson's Indigenous superhero Dreamwalker captivates fans at Supernova Comic-Con and gaming, sharing stories deeply rooted in Gunyandi language and culture. From the red dirt of the Kimberley to comic book stands across the country, the Indigiverse is rewriting the rules of who gets to wear a cape. It is the world's first Aboriginal superhero universe and is the brainchild of Scott Wilson, a proud Gunyandi and Miriwung Gadjerong man from Muladadsha. God, sorry, I probably butchered that at the end. Community in Western Australia's Kimberley. Now he's inspiring people across the globe, and I just think that is so fucking cool to see, especially for like the oldest Indigenous population in the world, like to actually fight. Like they're the oldest Indigenous population in the world, yet one of the last ones to get representation in something like this, which is just so. It just warms my heart to see, like, especially like, obviously here in New Zealand, we've had some of our own kind of like awesome Maori inspired kind of art and all of that. So it's just awesome to see that we're getting more of these things with a lot more flavors and just different. Because the one thing I love about when we get these types of things is you just learn so many cool things. Like I know I've watched a show that was based on like, I think it was like, you know, the gods from, I think, somewhere around Thailand or something like that. I can't remember where it was from, but it was so interesting just getting to learn and see those different things and seeing just them represented and how they kind of have their own takes on stuff.
They need their own version of Brotown next.
Oh my god. See, now talking about problematic things to rewatch. Holy
yes.
shit, man.
Hell yes.
Woo! The last time I rewatched Brotown, definitely the line of commentary and satire was she was I guess we better finish off with some memes though, because it looks like we're getting close to bedtime.
Oh my god.
Get in, losers. We're crossing the Cook Strait. Just a little, I did that. Just a fun little sticker. I think Cyber Goblin made this one, I think. I might be getting it wrong. Might be sorry if I got your name wrong, but it's in the Discord if you'd like to get that. It's got the transparent background, so you can put it on anything you like.
Yeah, I can't. There's a lot of things I want to go stick this on.
Right? We can make them. Yeah, someone print them out in stickers and just. I am once again asking leftist voters to be unapologetically critical of Atkins. Don't make the mistake the UK made. Government change without left-wing expectations is how you get Keir Starmer. This one was spicy. Of course we do support the LGBT movement. Let's go bomb Tel Aviv. Not like that. Spicy meme, but still funny. So we had this one, I believe Kaimatara shared. Gary, and then I believe Aiden came in and did the Nikki Where's My Fairy. So I love when we get these like little meme collaborations happening in the Discord. It's
or
always
competition
fun.
maybe,
or competition. Actually, yes, no, there is some ones that we've got as well. Capitalism is bureaucracy on the commons. Money is just fancy red tape. I mean. Also loved this. Rahui, don't go into the water. Respect the tapu. On Blu-ray. So I'm sure yes, I'm sure people remember Chewie requested, and literally when I heard him saying that, I was just looking down going, oh yeah, so someone's gonna be on that soon. I think Kaimatara posted one like probably around midnight after the show had finished. So like fast turnaround, guys. Impressed. And then we've got this as our other. I like the two different takes. You know, we've got the making it fit the body of the original, but then you've also got I love the creativity, guys. And forgot to put Kaimatara's name in there. But this was my creation of the week because I just thought this meme was really funny. And if you're in the Discord, you'll laugh even harder because, yeah, it's like, wait, this is a channel for memes, not arguing. Always has been.
Is that a giant Spain? What's going on? What part of the planet is that supposed to be?
Oh, it's a weirdly mutated looking America. It's just in a massive blob, really.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Also, babe, look at the actual meme.
Yeah, sorry.
You get to stop getting distracted by this tiny little.
You know, the autism got to take over sometimes.
It's all right. We got bonus memes now, so it's fine.
Hell yes.
Me, wow, I'm so hungry. Horse nervously. How hungry? That feeling when you're late diagnosed and they ask you why you don't seem autistic. This creature has adapted to the crushing pressure and oppressive darkness.
Hell yes.
I know, right?
Relate.
It's means lesbian in sign language. So when you post tweets with, you are saying lesbian, lesbian, lesbian. And it made me think a lot of those like astroturfy right wingers would be like posting like blah blah blah. Makes you think, right? Next time they do, tell them it's lesbian. Just to piss them off. Also, this was on the actual Subway New Zealand Facebook page when I was scrolling my feed. Yeah, no, that's the actual Subway New Zealand page. And you know what? I'm here for this marketing, I will be honest.
Still won't make me go to Subway, but...
No, I mean, yeah. But I love the throwback reference. And our last meme: red squirrels drive slowly. Of course they do. Their feet can barely touch the pedals. Cut them some slack. Because we love a stupid, silly meme. Although I see someone's brain got broken. Sorry for breaking someone's brain.
That's what we do.
All right, let's double check if we've got any more chats to have. Actually, I love how we're calling this my supposed age. If we're gonna go that far, maybe next week I'll get my legal ID and I'll like show you guys my year of birth to prove it, because I've done that to people before. Also, I loved the Nikki No Floods. Just a little. And then a $2 super chat from Kiwi Burb. We are always debating in the memes channel. Yes, you motherfuckers are. And I both love and hate it. It's always funny to go, what channel am I reading in? Oh, it's memes. Tries to find a meme. But yeah, I think I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's all. Did you have anything that you wanted to show quickly before it disappear in a couple of seconds?
Did you want to quickly go through my emails, or do you want to wait for development?
We'll leave that. We'll leave that. We'll leave that for next week. We'll work on that for next week. Guys, we got exciting emails. So actually, it reminded me, I did have one last meme to finish us off on, because it's a video meme, and I love a good video meme. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Let's be real for a second. Kiwis want to see doctors.
Oh my god! Oh, on the Botox Simeon. Like, what happened?
Yeah, like the comment from is Jordan Rivers. Alexa, let's be real for a second. Meanwhile, Simeon proceeds to never blink. Like that. Oh, so funny. So funny. Okay, well, thank you for joining us tonight, I should say, everyone. It was good to be back with you all, and thank you, Detective Rogers, for holding my spot, keeping my spot warm while I move into M's chair for a hot minute. But with that, I reckon we probably should start playing those credits.
And I will be back next week.
Yes. You'll get a twofer, a double feature from the two of us. Also, if you do watch Aotearoa tonight, we're taking a break for the next 2 weeks, and we'll be coming back on Monday, the 4th of August, yes. But anyway, we will start playing this and catch you later.
Help us settle a debate, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, knowing all the things that we need
I don't know why it just did that, guys, but it cut us out. So I'm just gonna say thank you for coming, and then I'll press it back on, and I don't know what's gonna happen because StreamYard decided to say fuck you. You didn't fuck anything up tonight, so now you can. All right.
OBS is the best. Go OBS.
Right. Keep cool to after school, whānau. Love you. Bye.
Help us settle a debate, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation.